Hello, hello, hello. Happy day to you all. We're so glad that you're here today. Listen, you are in for a great time on tonight with our Spotlight Summit. Yes, I'm so excited that you're here because, baby, let me tell you, we have some dynamic speakers that's coming before you. And these speakers, they originated from a 30-day lives challenge. And let me tell you, they are packed with so much information and have so many gifts that I just wanted to spotlight them so the world can see them. And on today, we're going to start with our first speaker, which is Miss Tilaya Hollins. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, hello, and thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Miss Sheila Hill. You are a gem. You are wonderful, and I thank you so much for hosting this and having us. I am Tilaya Bradford Hollins, and I am first and foremost a woman of God. I'm a mother of three beautiful girls and a wife, and I am, let's see, I'll tell you what my why and how my story started. How about that? Um, so when my eldest daughter was born, she had lots of little issues, like little medical issues. And then as she got older, I noticed that she was not going to the bathroom, urinating the way most kids are when they're running around playing. This was back when we made them go outside. Now they in here working on those video games. But this was before that. So she wasn't one to go outside. She wasn't urinating, even after I had observed her drinking lots of water. So anyway, for the next, let's see, she was around 12. The next year for us was extremely frustrating, dealing with the medical community, not coming up with an answer. We did not get a diagnosis until probably a year and a half later. And then she was diagnosed with focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. That's a mouthful to say FSGS, and that is a chronic kidney disease. And then the doctor said something real stupid to me. He told me that my daughter would be expired by the time she was 18 years of age. Um, can you imagine? I don't know if you're not a mother or father and you've never experienced something like that, but a doctor telling you that your child will be expired like they were like a box of cereal on a shelf or something in your refrigerator. It just didn't sit well with my spirit. So um anyway, fast forwarding, we've been on this journey, and so we're even now looking. She's on dialysis, and we're seeking a kidney donor. So I want to put that out there, but that speaks to my why. So one of the things that led me to being an entrepreneur. I'm a public servant by profession, my career. I'm a licensed social worker and an administrator over a child protection team. I love children, have always been a strong advocate for children. Like, don't mess with the babies when I'm around. So um and so that's kind of where my profession led me. I was that kid as a small kid, bringing other kids home to mama saying, okay, how can we fix this? When they had problems. So it's kind of no surprise for anybody that I work with children, um, and work with abused children. So that's what I do. But realizing that I needed more and that my daughter needed certain things, I got interested in entrepreneurship. And guess what my biggest barrier was? One of my biggest barriers was credit. I had terrible credit, y'all. I did. I ain't gonna lie. My credit sucked. And so it made me curious about how I could fix that. and what was the fastest way. Because at that time, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue as to how to fix my credit, how to position myself to be able to, get things. So, anyway, long story short, that led to me learning about how to fix credit, how to dispute things on my credit report, how to raise my score quickly. And so I found that other people, you know, that I had reached out to also did not know. So that led to what we now have today as leverage credit consulting. So, leverage consulting is a business that will help you to raise your credit score, but it will also do take it further in helping you learn how to manage your money. Sometimes it's just that we don't know how to take care of what God puts in our hand. Um, there are certain funds, things that you get, resources, and we don't always know how to best manage that. So it also helps you with financial management, debt management. It's going to help you with business credit if you are an entrepreneur or you have your own business. Those are some of the things that we do here at Leverage Credit. So if you want to reach out, definitely hit me up. I'm going to ask you, can we talk about your credit? Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about your credit and we're going to try to get it together. We're going to get it in order real good. Okay. You can find me on Facebook, on Leverage Consulting on Facebook, and also Leverage Consulting on Instagram. In addition to that, I do have a business for website development, and that is called the Air Force One. Air Force is spelled HEIR. So hit me up. And in the meantime, make sure you are loving each other. Okay? Take care of yourselves.
Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Take care of yourself and get that credit right. Okay. Leverage credit. Please reach out to her. And of course, all the contact information is in the show notes. And listen, for those who are new to the Sheila C Hill Show, listen, we're all about lifestyle, entrepreneurship, and mental health. So there's so many things that we can talk about, but today is a special episode where we're highlighting these entrepreneurs who have so much to offer. And listen, they completed a 30-day live challenge on Facebook. And baby, it was not an easy task. So we are spotlighting them and showing them, listen, that you are worthy to be spotlighted on today. So thank you very much, Tilaya, for coming and speaking. You're a dynamic speaker and sharing your story. Thank you for giving us some insight on you and your journey, and many blessings to you and your family and your daughter.
Thank you.
Because we understand that just because the doctor says something, it don't mean that's the end of it.
That's right. That's
That
right.
part. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. All
Amen.
right. Coming to the stage, we now have Miss Pretti Brown. Woo! Welcome to the stage.
Good evening. Good evening. First, I just want to thank all of you who took part in this journey with me. Your consistent support definitely carried me through this moment. I participated in this challenge during one of the hardest emotional times in my year for me, but it was necessary. In order to get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable. So this challenge hit all of those points for me. Special thanks to Miss Sheila Hill and her team for allowing her light to shine and spreading that kindness to me. Everything you have done has been something that has definitely resonated with me and been such a pour into my journey thus far. I'm just honored to be a part of this community, and my growth within it is definitely because of you and your consistent support. I'm a survivor. I help other survivors accept truth, support their transitions into a new reality without judgment. And I'm the poster child for additional income sources, more recently known as the Hustle Queen. Most people know me to be associated with a variety of brands. whether it be Bedroom Candy, Generational Drip, which is my sister's clothing brand, um, or others that I do a lot of promo for. But in this challenge, I was on a search for myself, my brand, and what best represents me. So I'm Pretty Brown. 4 years ago, I had it all: a condo, a career, quality vehicle, and great life aspirations. After release from incarceration, my partner was killed by the Brooklyn Police Department. And this is in New York City. This was in the wake of the Black Lives Matter movement and COVID 19. So, in just 7 days of freedom, he was just gone in a swift moment. Our world as I knew it was no more. And after spending consistent years traveling and visiting and making sure that all of the components of his manhood was intact to prepare him for the free world, and all of it, I still feel like I came up short somewhere. But it felt like someone had blew my candle out. At the time of his passing, I had just extended my budget. I was on like $0, zero ideas how to fight through all the emotional turmoil of it. And ultimately, the depression of the loss and the failure really started to set in. You see it on the news and you read it in the newspapers, and all you can do is really empathize with other strangers until it knocks at your door, well, breaks your door down, as I like to say. To live and survive through the horror of this story, making national news and facing all the negativity behind incarceration shame, that I personally felt like came along with it, even though I wasn't the individual incarcerated. I humbly share my story with you. I had to face what I went through so another survivor can have hope, live, and love again. I had never experienced a level of grief. Um, and then to add the layer of the pandemic on top of it was just extra because you're not really going around anybody to take your mind away from it. Could I talk about it? Of course. Did I? No. I was used to hiding behind a smile and hoping for good things at the expense of like slowly like dying inside. I didn't trust my vulnerability to the people closest to me. I felt like I had already been enough of a burden for them. Sometimes when you look at the shame of incarceration, you feel embarrassed by um, it all. Like a person that is incarcerated isn't human, and they are. Um, I definitely needed somebody or something to really keep me safe from myself. And that's a really honest statement. And idle mind is definitely the devil's breeding ground. And finding me, I chose to love me from the inside out. This included finding mentors, creating new networks for professional and personal rebuilding. I had to grab a full understanding of my purpose and encompassing that the only way out is through. As one of my mentors, Miss Dorner, always says, her story really carried me on many days. She has no idea how grateful I am that she had the courage to share it. And it's crazy because I reflected to this yesterday that I actually remember her making the post in real time when she did it concerning her husband. That's how long I've been following her. And in real time, this was actually in symmetry 2 weeks behind my loss. Um, so her story, it really carried me. The fact that she found the strength to be transparent and open up about it a little bit. I was able to get on the internet, look at her, and really find the motivation to keep going. And my questions with God changed from why me, because I used to say this all the time, like, why me? Why me? I was an avid churchgoer. And then when I saw that post, it instantly switched to why not me? And I felt convicted because it said to me, it can be anybody. You're just one in the number. And because you're one in the number, I know that there's work God has for me. I also know He couldn't just trust anybody with this mission. It took tragedy to strike to kind of wake me up to my own grace and receive the love that I so desperately gave. I had to figure out that simply for myself, I love myself. Sometimes we can't get out of it out of fear of what we went through and then the feelings that it might reignite. Truth is, I accept it daily, something that is a conscious yet sobering choice, while slowly trying to carve a new narrative and a new future for myself. And like some of you here, I'm a mother too, so that's a new narrative for my child. I accept what God allowed, and I trust all my moments are seriously up to Him. I choose to move forward and look up. Happiness is a choice. This included self love and awareness activities, other opportunities. I joined as an affiliate consultant with Bedroom Candy Boutique. I could just love and spoil me at any given time. I needed to rediscover what that felt like again. Um, I could reinvent what sexy meant. And to me, I needed to do that. Could you imagine being in a relationship where you're separated like that? So, intimacy is a new experience. I could also use my passion for showing people how to generate income by doing what's required, loving themselves, and having a great time doing it. If you take nothing from this moment, please love yourself. Discovering me also came with the challenge of calling myself to a higher place in my community. I became a notary public for the state of Massachusetts and began campaigning in politics as my community was up to see the first Black mayor in this town. Another skill I could pass on to others and show them how to generate additional income while being the change we wish to see, because a lot of our families don't come from wealth. We have to generate that. And lastly, it came with the willingness to challenge myself to step out of my comfort zone. I did this by networking, joining other groups that positively fed my aspirations, and were being led by capable individuals committed to servitude. I uplifted me on the days I struggled to find the confidence, and their confidence in me uplifted me while exposing me to a new individual venue of individuals who are assigned to educate through service. This included the 30-day challenge with Miss Sheila Hill. I encourage anybody, if you didn't take it, to take it because it's going to kickstart everything you are trying to do. As a survivor, I'm aware that what didn't kill me definitely made me stronger. And being able to share that story on this stage with all of you openly is a direct reflection of my survivorship. To hear more about my story, you can check all the streaming platforms for Pretty Brown, How Lyric Speaks to EP, and pre-order my new book, set to release for January 1st, 2024, What Doesn't Kill You. It's exclusively on Amazon. You can follow me on Facebook, Pretty Brown, and you can follow me on Instagram at I am Pretty B Official. Thanks for listening.
Let's go. Yes. All right. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for allowing your story to resonate with so many people who are in this situation and teaching them that there is life on the other side. And the only way to go through it is going through it. The only way out is through. But listen, I didn't hear you mention your single, your song.
So I have an EP that's in symmetry to this book that's being released. The
Okay.
EP actually came out first. It was released 3 years ago now. So it's on the major platforms if you look at it. It's called How Lyric Speaks. The main single, the main feature off of that was Stolen Dreams. So it's like a lyrical poetic piece if you actually hear that. And then it's the rest of the project. There's a few other songs that are in symmetry to this book because it kind of gives a picture setting for some of the themes we did experience together. I did just recently put out another single. It's called Love at First Sight. It's just a little fun tune. If you're familiar with Carl Thomas, I Wish, it'll definitely give you a little sassy vibe. So just go check it out if you're feeling yourself and have fun with it. It was a song we chose because sampling is getting popular and TikTok is trending. So we wanted to try something different with the music.
Okay, awesome. So we can have that in the show notes, a clickable link so people can follow that. Okay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. And listen, your strength resonates so strong and you continue to make that difference because everything that you went through, you build it as a foundation to your next and you get ready to level up, sis. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. Woo! Honey. My God, my God. I tell you, that's a powerful. You all have some powerful stories. And I just don't want it just to stay here. I want you all, and listen to all my listeners, they are available for speaking engagements. They are available to be booked on your shows, on your podcast, on various places. So reach out in the show notes for all of our speakers. We're going to have several parts. I think we have maybe 6 parts to this Spotlight Summit. So you will be blessed and you will be motivated and inspired and empowered to get in contact with these speakers. All right, next to the stage, we have her backstage. She's getting ready to come forward. Miss Jennifer Hall.
Hello. How goes it, everyone? So, I'm Jennifer Hogue. I am your TEDx Talk speaker, international author, and I'm one of those individuals that really seeks to find the silver lining in those dark spaces. But beyond that, what I have in common with every single person on this planet is that I'm a human being. And as a human being, there are times that we may get overwhelmed, overthink things, feel like we're behind. Just life is lifing and it gets to be too much. And I have found myself in that situation. And there's this one particular time where I told my friend, I was like, I feel like I'm running around in circles and I'm not getting anywhere. Now, I'm pretty sure you've probably said this to yourself a time or two, probably to some of your friends, family members, coworkers, or even just to yourself, right? Running around in circles, not getting anywhere. Well, when I said this to one of my friends, she said, then stop moving. And that sounds so simple, but when you have all these things going around, you're not thinking about stopping because you just can't. You can't, because if you do, what's going to happen? This is going to fall, that's going to fall, this is going to fall. But what happens if you fall? Then everything falls. So it was in that moment, I was like, you know what? You're right. So I thought of this phrase: pause, breathe, believe. Now, a lot of times when we go through things, we want to skip the first step. And the first step is what? Pause. Because we can breathe, take a deep breath. Okay, all right, got to keep going. And I believe that, things are going to keep going, and it's going to turn out to be the best. But it's that first step, the most important step. Pause. Why is pausing so important? Because that is your moment to reset. When you pause, you choose when to pause. You can get certain things to a point where you can step back for just a moment. Because if something was going to fall apart in 15 minutes or in 15 hours, baby, it was going to fall apart anyways. Okay. So there are times that you just have to let go and remember yourself first. So the very first step is to pause. And when you take that pause, you are able to take that moment to assess everything that's going on, what's important, and what is not. Because sometimes we get caught up in all of the things that people give to us. And, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that, or I'm gonna do that. And you overextend yourself. And once that happens, you're in that cycle, you're in that spin. Pause. The next thing you have to do is breathe. Just right with me right now. Take a deep breath. The deeper it is, the slower you let it out, the more you can feel your entire body relax. It's necessary because you're probably running around, shoulders probably all up to your ears, back a little hunched over because you're always in the move. You're always running. You're always going. Pause. Breathe. Take that moment. Feel it. This is for you. This is all for you. This is for your heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. You take that breath. You take several, but you pause and you breathe. Once you've done that, there's a lot of things that are around you that feel a little more still. You feel a little more in control. Now it's time to believe. It's time to believe that the things that you are choosing to focus on are worth your time and energy. It's worth maybe the sacrifice of the late nights and the sleep for all my entrepreneurs out there, for all my aspiring business owners, for all my students who are kicking butt and taking names because they're ready to make a difference in this world. You have to know that the choices that you're making will be the right ones for you at the right time. But knowing yourself and believing in yourself and believing in what you're doing, not because you're doing it for everyone else, but because you were doing it for you. You have to do it for yourself first. Because if you constantly put everyone in front of you, when is it your turn? It's never your turn. So you got to turn this back on yourself. So what are the steps? Pause. Breathe. Believe. All right, y'all. It's what I wanted to tell you all. I know how important that is. It seems real simple, but it actually takes a lot of time because when you start to work something new into your life, it's a little uncomfortable. You're a little unsure, especially if no one else is doing it. No one else has ever told you to pause, breathe, and believe before you met me, Jennifer, right? But now this is our chance to work together on a daily basis with me just dropping that little gem in your ear. So I want you to pause, breathe, and believe. Whenever you feel like your world is going out of control, it's just spinning in circles, pause, breathe, believe. When you having a hard time at work, you're having a hard time at school, you're having a hard time at home, and you just don't know which way you should go, pause, breathe, believe. All right, y'all. So if you want to hear some more of these type of gems, several places you can find me. Find me on Facebook under Jennifer Hogue. I will be there. You can follow me on YouTube, Small Steps, Major Moves, as well as on major streaming platforms, Small Steps, Major Moves. We are here to work together because at the end of the day, there is nothing about you that needs to change, but there is so much left to be discovered. So let's do it together, y'all. Love you all.
Let's go. Yes, Miss Jennifer Hogue. Listen, that's Hogue, how to spell it. And when she was saying major platforms, is for her podcast. So please tap into her podcast, Small Steps, Major Moves. Pause, breathe, believe. If you can incorporate that in your life, believe me, you will go many, many miles further than you can even imagine. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for being a guest today on the Sheila C Hill Show doing this Spotlight Summit. We're so glad to have you as our special speakers on this evening. Listen, and I'm going to tell you for the listeners, please tap into these speakers. They're dynamic. They're going places. And listen, they done been places. That's why they're here to help you get on through life because, baby, they have some value. They are super dope. And it is time for you to tap in, whether you're in a different country, whether, because listen, the Sheila C Hill Show is in 14 countries right now. And we're part of CTR Media Network, which is has listenerships over 450 million households. So listen, that's why they're here being spotlighted to share on your platform as well to inspire your following. So this is why we're here today. So thank you very much to our speakers. And listen, for our audience, if you are new and this is your first time on the Sheila C Hill Show, welcome, hola, bonjour, all of that. Thank you. But make sure you subscribe so you can catch all of this goodness on this show, okay? And if no one's told you this, you are loved and highly appreciated, and your life is worth living right here. So let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Until next time on the Sheila C Hill Show. Bye-bye. Smooches. Love, peace, hair grease.